everyone, Dark Ramos here with the Volume Profile Nerd, here to do my trade review. It was for yesterday, Friday, May 22nd, 2023. So yeah, I had a few mixed feelings about yesterday. I did drop the ball at the end of the day yesterday. Most of the morning was okay, but I found myself in mostly disbelief for most of the day. I couldn't believe how big a move the buyers were getting. And given my TA, I don't know, I could have had not as much disbelief. And it's okay because I've never seen a day like this where it was the strongest 5 minute stair step I've ever seen on any given day and on any indice. It was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17, maybe even starting here, maybe it was 18. Yeah, but just a really huge 5 minute stair step. And the thing that could have had me not be in so much disbelief was this daily gap, right? Like once we got above it, buyers should be looking to this value area low, or this POC here, which we got to like, yeah, to the T almost. Yeah, we just had a bit of gap between this daily range and this daily range, and buyers just filled it. Like, so it was a good learning day for me. Like, I'm not used to such outsized moves. And so yeah, I mean, it's all part of the learning process and growth. So I don't mind it. I didn't take any trades here. I was just in disbelief most of this move up. And it was, I have gotten better at trying to catch tops, but today was a version of that I think I could still clean up, where my tops were more calculated, but I don't know, it was still a version of that. And near the end, like, had I not fumbled the end, I think it would have been a decent day, but it was just not very good execution at the end of the day. And it cost me, like, not a lot. I made some of it back. So it wasn't a huge red day relative to my week. It was my best week ever for sure. So I think with this improvement and feeling like I can have green weeks and a few green days in a row, I think there's going to be a whole nother psychological aspect to it where it could be overconfidence, and that is another part of my C game and a part of my whole game where like, getting overconfident is a red flag, because for me, I tend to think that the trade has to work if I get overconfident, and that leads to taking multiple losses in a row and not having calculated decisions, which was kind of evident near the end of the day. And I just my C game fell off at the end of the day. It was the worst, like, C game execution that I've done, I think, in a while. And it was like I took a break. I went to get some stuff at the store, and I came back, and it was the end of the day. And I find that Fridays are kind of like my worst days. And I think it's a combination, like, it's like the feeling of knowing that I won't be able to trade during the weekend and trying to cram in trades before the weekend. And it's a very distinct feeling. And so, yeah, like, I came back from going to the store, and I sat right on this chair, and I started listening to a podcast that I listened to on my headphones while trying to trade, and then trying to and mark it into a trade. And I took multiple losses in a row. So my C game fell off for sure there. And then I was in that weird state of not having conviction, like entering trades and then exiting. Yeah, entering and exiting. And it was just like, that's a very big red flag. Like, part of trading is knowing these red flags. Just as important as finding levels is knowing red flags, because that's part of the C game. That's part of what's going to save me from, over trading, going on tilt, and taking multiple losses in a row without clarity on how I'm entering or exactly what I'm looking for and all that. Like, I knew what I was looking for, and had I executed it better, it would have been a beautiful trade. But yeah, I'll go over that. So NQ was the strongest sector. XLV didn't really join the party. XLV pulled back most of the day, but XLF did get a bounce. So NQ was the relatively stronger sector. And NQ, like, I think it was Meta that led tech. Um, Apple, Meta, Amazon, Netflix, you know, Google was, yeah, probably maybe not the strongest, but Microsoft, was strong. Meta was strong. Tesla was strong. NVDA, not as strong, obviously, like it just from that huge gap up earnings. But tech was just, kind of in beast mode. So, for me, it was interesting because, like, you can have disbelief. I thought you could only have, like, disbelief when the market was going down, but you can have disbelief when the market's going up. And so I think, and that was part of my morning prep. I was like, yeah, maybe buyers want to step into the market, and I just didn't realize like it would be like this. So, and my levels were respected. So aside from all of that, maybe subjective or conceptual ideas about disbelief and all this, my levels were respected, and that's all I need to know, right? If I follow my TA, like, and that's, I need to stop second guessing my TA, because there were so many moments in the day that I was like, oh, buyers are probably gonna hold here and get to this POC, and that's exactly what happened. But I didn't take the trade because I didn't want to go long after such a bull move. And it was weird, like, it's that idea of gravity, thinking that the higher we go up, we must fall. So the more I see this not play out, the more like that notion is shifting for me. That idea is shifting, because it's like the market doesn't care about gravity. Like, it's just, it'll do what does, and it'll go with momentum. So I'm, from what I've seen, like, I don't know the sample size, but from what I've seen, like, when the market's trending, like, buyers are just looking, to buy dips and head higher. So, with that said, I'll kind of go into my ruling reason for the day. I did mention the ruling reason in my rundown in my morning prep. And so my ruling reason for yesterday was this 1498 level on NQ. And it was the value area high of 3722, 31622. That was kind of my ruling reason. And we had some hourlies here that I was paying attention to. And so I was paying attention to these hourlies, and I made a trade to this hourly POC at 421, 422. That was kind of like thinking that we might stall there. And I could have held to 498, right? Because that was the daily level. And I thought about it, but it was a really nice trade, so I just took it. And I did have the idea of 5 minutes stair stepping it. I don't know why I didn't. But I'll go over the trades I took today. So my first trade was a really nice one. It was watching, we opened up right. We opened up here and oscillated between the open / value area high. And then we broke the regular trading hours high, got to the overnight high, pulled back from the overnight high, couldn't get to the open. And once we got above or close to getting above the regular trading hours high, I entered long here, got risk-free here. Got risk-free here and sold another contract near the overnight high. And sold my last contract at 1470 because my target was this hourly POC here at 1473. And that was it. And after this, it was really interesting what I was trying to do. And I don't know. I just, for some reason, I didn't think buyers were going to just like have such a strong bull move. And it's just, maybe I had a bias or something, like, but buyers, they proved it early in the morning. This is pretty high conviction. We didn't spend much time at the open, couldn't get to the open, and buyers took over from there. So for me, it's like the reason I do these trade reviews is because all these thoughts, all these ideas have to be kind of present in my mind for me to continue to have conviction and for my conviction to grow in my plays as I'm trading. So that's why I do these trade reviews every day, because the more I repeat these ideas and concepts, the more I feel I'll be aware of them during the trading day. And that's why I like doing these trade reviews, because there's a lot of moving pieces while the market's going. And if I can be aware of different nuances and different levels and different day time frame references and context of, tempo and what buyers are proving and or sellers, and like how convincingly are they proving it, to maybe have more conviction in my plays, essentially. So after this, what I kept doing, I kept trying to find 5-second ranges and to see if we'd bull break below, and then maybe back test, and that could be the top type of thing. So I was just looking for tops, and that's something in my game that I feel I need to clean up. If I feel there's a higher level we could get to, I think my mindset should switch from looking for a top to finding balances and playing off the lower end of balance. So here I wouldn't have gotten a trade, but here it could have been, we oscillated here. Maybe I could have entered here. I would have gotten stopped out here. But once we get back into this range, so the play here would have been break below, we break above, back test it, entering here. So I kept looking for this, and I should have definitely been looking for this, right? There's a difference there. Instead of looking for this, when we could have some higher targets, I'm looking for this. Boom, right there. So, yeah, big enough break, entering here, that would have been the play, after seeing this momentum, and we got above, or we weren't at the 14.98, but even if I thought we could get to the 14.98 level, that's still like 10 points from here to here, which is a nice trade. After that, I just kept finding ranges, trying to see if sellers would do this, but it just, the opposite kept happening, or not the opposite, but buyers just sideways and up, sideways, up, sideways, up. And then here, sideways, we get a bear break. I think it was like maybe 1 minute consolidation, or 2 minute. Then we get another bull move sideways and up. Here would have been some nice plays playing off the value area low of this sideways range. And here I was convinced that buyers are going to do this. But at this point, we're well above that 14.98. So, part of my TA is when seeing gaps like this, these gaps get filled fairly easily. From what I've noticed, it's not, I don't know the percentage. Maybe it's not 100%, but I would say it's like, maybe from what I've seen, like 80%. Like these gaps get filled really well when there's a bit of air in between. And there was not a lot of hourly range too. So a lot of air here. Yeah, I could have been aware of that. That's interesting. So yeah, I mean, that's why I do these trades. Like, there's learnings every day. If there's gaps on the hourly and daily, like buyers or whichever side should have potentially an easier go to get through that. Yeah, just kind of thinking out loud here, but yeah. So sideways and up, sideways and up. Kept marking these little ranges up, sideways and up, sideways and up. And yeah, sideways, up, sideways, up, little sideways, up, sideways, a little bit of a bear break. We hold, couldn't get to the value area high of this little range. Back up here. This would have been a good play right here. Entering here. So I think my edge or my trade, how I approach, this play here where I'm looking for a break below and then a break above and a back test, like I was just looking in the wrong direction. Like boom, playing off this. Sideways and up. And yeah, sideways and up. And this was the first time where I felt like we broke that sideways and up idea. So we had a little sideways range here, broke above it, big bear break below it, double the range, back test. I enter here, get risk free, and get stopped out here. So this was a minis trade. So yeah, that was fine. My first trade was micros. Yeah, that's why it was in yellow. But this was minis because for the first time, I thought maybe we, reject here. But then at this point, I was aware of this 14,300 psychological value area low of the of this 411, 421 range. I was aware of that, and I thought to myself, like, why would buyers stop? Like, that was literally my thought. Like, why, something like that. That was kind of like the idea. Like, why would buyers stop here? Like, and at this point, we did get above this hourly value area low at 418, 419. So maybe we head to the POC. And yeah, so at this point, once we got up to like here, up into this area, I was looking for the short because I felt like if we had like 5-minute consolidation, we could head back to this value area low. Like, it was just so beautiful how it played out. And this is why I feel like I need to trust my TA a bit more. We pulled back right to the value area low of this 418, 419 range, and then headed back to the POC and even up to the value area high here at 1340. What's the level here? 1345.75. So yeah, the levels were respected. It's just like, for me, I need to figure out the I think it would be percentages or the calculation of like, yeah, I'm gonna take losses. That's okay, but if I put myself in positions where there's higher probability of the trade working out, then I might put myself in a position of, like, if I take a loss, like, taking losses is coupled with the C game, because taking losses is like mental. It's like, it's definitely more mental because, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I guess we're not used to, as people, like, to rejection and failure. And so if you put your own personal psychology, or whatever, I don't know if I love the word psychology, but your own self into like, or the way you view things. Yeah, if you don't realize you're giving that loss all the meaning that it has, then it'll have an effect on your psyche. And that's what leads to tilt and over trading, because you feel like, oh, wait, no, the market did something to me and I have to get back. I have to be right. I have, that's that C game that if that fails, that's a very big red flag, because, playing the market is like playing percentages, like if I have an edge and the edge can play out more times than not, then I should take those trades like 100% of the time, even if they don't work out maybe 70 or 80% of the time, right? Or 60. If I have an edge that's 55 to 60%, I'm still profitable. And if I manage my risk, right, and let my winners ride. So yeah, just I think I'm in that phase where I feel like my edge is developing and I'm figuring out all that. So my next phase is looking at percentages and being okay with taking losses and not letting losses affect my C game, because that's probably one of the biggest improvements to my game is my C game. And after I take a loss, not marketing in and having limit orders I feel can kind of mitigate some of the tilt and the marketing in and over trading. So yeah, just a little side note tangent there, but yeah, so here, we got below, I entered here, we headed a bit lower, got risk free, and then I got stopped here. So after this, I recognize, so this is 14,260. I think I was looking at an hourly level. No. Here I just feel, so this is where I enter the party a little bit too late. And I kind of recognize that I'm a little late to the party. Oh no, not even. Here I tried going short. Yeah. So I think, at this point I'm just looking for sideways ranges, and I drew this one up, something like this, and it wasn't even a good one. Actually, it made the POC, but I looked to go short because I thought we had a little bull break above value and then below, and I looked to backtest off the POC, And this was just chasing. So let's say I remove this. I thought we had like this bull break below, and I played off the POC here and I got stopped out the long here. So this was chasing because this isn't a big enough pullback to have conviction in this range holding, right? And if anything, like we're just at the top of this big bull move. Like, if anything, I could have been like, more patient for sellers to step in more convincingly, right? Like this isn't enough. Like we're just up. We had a little bull break, bear break. I think like buyers would still want to see if this range is holding, which is what they did. Like they tried again and then failed. And this might have been a more reasonable short here, because here we couldn't even get to the value area low of this range, and it would have been, like this entire sideways range. Yeah, I don't even love this. Like that's not enough pullback. But now we get a big pullback, and now I could, like wait to see if we get here, which we didn't. Maybe did we a little bit later? Yeah, right here. We did right here. So, yeah, I can be patient for that. Like, yeah, we did all this first, then we got to it. Now I can look for the short here. Like there's many ways to, it doesn't have to be like a perfect like this. It can be like whoop, or like whoop, whoop, something like that. But anyways, I'm digressing a little bit. But if I draw this range out, we held the value area low pretty well. And that's a big pullback for sellers to be a little bit more interested, right? Not something like this little dinky, bear break, and then, this is more convincing. And here I can get at least, that's 17 points. Like if I get that trade, or if, let's say 15 points, if I get that trade on one contract, getting to this value area high, like that's a really nice trade. And, why not? So yeah, entered too early here for the short, got stopped out. And at this point, like this is when I'm late to the party. I'm like, okay, maybe I want to play off developing value here, and buyers try for that POC up here at 14 to 290, roughly 14,291.50. Yeah, maybe buyers try for the POC. And just a little late to the party. 5-minute consolidation was pretty likely. RSI was like super hot on all time frames and was just late to the party. So entered long here and got stopped out here. So yeah, I think at this point, I don't think I'm red. I might be a little bit red. And yeah, so then I try. Yeah, I think at this point, let me see, 14,300. Yeah, so up here, I'm trying for the short a bit more aggressively because we are approaching the value area low of this daily 411, 421 range at 14,300 psychological. So here I'm a bit interested in the short. So I dropped this 1 minute range. We bull break, couldn't find acceptance above it. Bear break, couldn't get to the POC. And then bear break again. So I enter pretty aggressively short here to try to get to at least this value area high and get risk free. And yeah, I was a bit shy from getting risk free, maybe a point or a point and a half. And I just thought like sellers could get here and I could get risk free. But we had one more leg up and I got stopped out here of the short. And then we did it again. And this is when I had a bit more conviction in the short. I entered here, got risk-free here at the value area high of this range, and we couldn't find acceptance below the value area low of this range. And once I saw that, I just exited my trade here. And it was a decent win. It was like 10 points. Yeah, 10 points. Yeah, right, 10 points here. My bad. On the minis. So this was a minis loss. This was a minis win. And after this, I think, yeah, I'm up a little bit on the day. It would have been like 50 NQ points, or I'm back almost to where I was on the morning because I did take a few losses, a little bit less than what I was at the morning. But then I took a few losses here on the micros. I thought we'd reject from this value area low of this range. So I entered short here. Here I could have set a limit order. I still would have gotten stopped out. 29. Yeah, 42, 429, 250. No, I wouldn't have gotten stopped out. So this is where I think limit orders are very important because, if there's a range and these little ranges are perfect because if there's a little enough range where I can enter at the value area low and my stop is a little bit above the value area high, that could potentially give me enough to get risk free. In this case, I would have gotten stopped out here, but those are the type of kind of plays that I might look for, and so yeah, it's very nuanced. I'm still like figuring out, like it's very contextual and nuanced, right? Because I could enter once we don't find acceptance above the value area high, or like here, I tried again the short here with the micros, entered short here and got stopped out here, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I love these plays. Like, probably not because buyers are still in full control. We're still setting 5-minute uptrends. Like, I don't need to be aggressively short unless sellers step in convincingly. And so, yeah, I gotta keep reminding myself of that. Like, don't look to the opposing side when one side is so strong and the opposing side hasn't really proven much. Like these 5 seconds, I don't think are enough unless I'm getting quick scalps. Like this is a decent quick scalp, but yeah, just gotta work on that and just look at my approach to, like, if I'm scalping, then be very aware that I'm scalping, and if I take one loss, then that's it, So anyways, yeah, I took a few losses here on the micros, thinking we were gonna try for this range, even though we just got to this range and held it. That should have been, like for me, like why you like don't go short, but then I tried again because again I'm thinking this range has got to hold. So yeah, and we're at that 13,300 psychological level, so I'm very adamant about that level holding, when in reality, like, buyers should be trying for this POC after getting through all this air, and that's what they did. So should have been a bit more aware of that. Today we essentially got from like this POC to this POC, which is over 300 points. Like buyers held the POC in the overnight session very well, and that's something I could have paid attention to as well. And they held it here to head to this POC. So many things I could have been a bit more paying attention to, but yeah, the more I do these trade reviews, the more like these things add to kind of the experience and the overall view, like my approach and little nuances and details I can pay attention to. But yeah, tried a bit too much here, thinking that we'd reject from that 13,300 psychological level or 14,300 psychological. So once we got below this range again, I entered short here on the minis, got risk free here and got stopped out here. Once I saw we couldn't quite get acceptance above, and then I tried it again. We got below the range. I entered short again, and we did get to the value area high. So we kept holding, and again, I need to draw out these ranges because they just they tell such nice stories. But while the market's going, I think, maybe there'll be a point where I can slow time down enough where I don't care about so much of the oscillation, but just like I see a range, draw it up, and then like look for those ranges to for setups. But I could have drew this one out for a bit more clarity. But we held here. But yeah, once we were getting below this, I entered, entered short here, got risk free, then stopped out. Here I entered short and then just exited the entire trade at this value area high. So this was probably the best trade in this area, and this one wasn't bad. But yeah, two of those trades kind of scalping from this value area low to this value area high, value area low to value area high, and yeah, that was decent. And then I took a few losses here, going short again here on the micros and got stopped out here. And then I tried it again, went short and got stopped out here. So just, yeah, like we're holding this range. Sellers are not going to prove much without cracking this. And we held it here. So I could be less aggressive here, I feel. But again, I had that 14,300 psychological level. And I think, one too many attempts here. After a couple of attempts, I could have waited for more conviction that at least, if this level breaks, then maybe, sellers are a bit more in the mix. Like if we do something like this, that could maybe give me a bit more conviction to try to get to this range. So yeah, many things for me to look at there. Then I think, I had a break even trade here. This was 1156. Yeah, this was me going short on NQ. I think I saw this big bear break. No, we had this kind of sideways range, held it here, bear break, couldn't get to the POC. We had this big pullback, and I entered here at the low, and I saw that, and I was like, nope, exited right away. So it was a break-even trade. I think I paid for a little bit of commissions. Then we bounced. So the play here would have been, break below, break above. No, yeah, break below, break above, and let me draw out this range for a bit more clarity here. Yeah, we break below, break above. The play would have been here for a decent long. But anywho, yeah, so we get above here, break below this range, get above, hold the PLC, couldn't get much acceptance above there. I did go long here I went short. Yeah, I don't know why I went short here. This was not great. We held the POC here because I thought, we got back into this range. I thought we'd get to the value area low. But my trade location wasn't great here, so I got stopped out here. Had I entered here closer to the value area high, I would have gotten risk-free here. But anyway, so entered short here, got stopped out. Then I entered long here and got stopped out here. So, some decent losses here. And then I made it back. Once I saw we got back into the range and a little bit under the POC, I entered at the POC. Got risk-free here. And this was my best trade of the day on the minis. So all these were kind of mini trades. This one was a little mini, a few minis, a few micros in here. But this was a minis. Sold here, got risk-free here. And my target was 14,306. And the reason that was my target, 14, let me see. 14, yeah. The reason that was my target was because, why was that my target? Yeah, I was playing off of, this right here. Okay. So yeah, I got to draw this out. Like, I got to get in the habit of doing this a bit more often during the day. But that was my target. My target was the value area high of this sideways action here. And, we held it a few times. But yeah, I had a sell limit or a cover limit right here. And that was my best trade of the day. No acceptance into this range. We held it. And, buyers got another bounce to this value area low here. And so, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is where I need to have better perspective on, because I'm on the 5 second. So I think I have to have a bit more perspective on time, right? Because like we bear break here, and this would be like I don't know, 2 minute lower high, or if I go to the 1 minute here, yeah, it's like a 1 minute. Let me see, right here. No, I'd have to go back here. So right here. And let me double check here. Yeah, it was like a little 5 minute lower high here. So this is where I can have a bit more context of like, playing with these ranges, right? Because, you know, now sellers are proving a bit more, right? Like we hold this range. Now buyers have to get above this range. And so yeah, like this would have been a nice short here to get back to here. So yeah, definitely. I think I'm going to do some studying this weekend and just like see kind of my approach and how like I feel like there's a bit of improvement there. But anywho, I'll continue with the trade review. Just a few more minutes here. Um, let's see. This was a break-even trade on the micros, going long, and I just cut it quickly because I didn't love this trade, right? Because we got back into this range. We were oscillating around the POC, and I felt like we couldn't get above the range, so I felt like maybe sellers try one more time for the low here. And this low was, that 14,300 psychological level, which was right kind of at this POC of this hourly and the value area low of this daily. So once we had a bear break, no follow through, and this is, right, this was the area where I should have gone long. And I don't know why I didn't. Like there was so much confluence here to go long on the daily to get to this POC, which would have been 60 points, right? We get a bear break with no follow through below this value area low. I'm entering here to try to get here. And it was like almost a 1 minute stair step there. And I didn't take that trade. And I was watching it. I actually headed out. Like I left the room for a bit while this was happening because I don't know, like this would have been entering at the once we got back into the range, to at least get risk free, like up here, maybe we oscillate around this range given that there's some important levels there. I could have had conviction in that, but didn't enter. And, I could have netted like those 60 points, getting to that POC. Cause after that, we did get to that POC convincingly, from the daily at 13,362. We got right there. We got to 13,36, 6850. I could have gotten the trade, from here to like here, and that would have been close to like 60 points. But this is where I second guess myself, and that's where I think my biggest improvement as a trader has to come in. So after this, it's near the end of the day, and this is, during all this, I'm not at the computer, and actually, you know what? Like there was a trade here that I was looking for when I came back. No, I was looking for buyers to get here for me to enter, but we held this little range here. And that could have been another, we held, man, it's just I need to draw these things up. So we held the POC here, bull break, and then back tested the value area high of this little range, and then we took off from there. That's still, close to 50 points if I'm entering here. Definitely could improve on my execution today and just feeling the whole context of the day a bit more. After that, it's the end of the day, and I'm recognizing we have this little range. We couldn't find acceptance above it. We break below it, back test it, break below, and so now I'm very interested in this area, and this is where my execution just fell off the rails. It was this is where I came back, and I was listening to a podcast on my headphones, and I was trading while not fully tuned in. And honestly, it was just, the trade would have been a limit sell at 13,349. My stop goes above 13,354, and I get the trade to this, let's see, where was that range? Is it this? Yeah, to this range here. Or no, this range. This is a better, definitely this range. So if I hide this here for a second. And this is where I had lack of clarity. I didn't even have this range drawn up. my idea was that sellers were going to get back um to this value area low. No, to this value area low on the daily to 14,300 psychological. I thought we were just going to go from the POC to the value area low. And so I was very aggressive here, and it was just, yeah. So anyway, I marketed in here because I saw that we had a little bit of sideways range here. So I marketed in here, got stopped out here, tried again once we held the value area low, got stopped out here. Entered again once we held this value area low, entered here, got stopped out here. Then we pulled back from the POC. I entered here, got stopped out here. So that all could have been mitigated by a simple sell limit with my stop above here. Like, plain and simple. That is it. But I was too convinced that we would hold this when this should have been the range I was looking at, because this isn't even that great of a sideways. It's kind of like a little bit of oscillation there. It is some sideways, but we're back into this range, right? We didn't get acceptance below it, so maybe the next range sellers have to defend is this one, right? We're still in this range, so why am I going short here, right? Sellers have to defend this, not this. We're inside this. We're not below it. We're not above it. We're inside. So wait, we're below this. Sellers have to defend this. So why not enter here, place my stop here, and see if it rides out? But no, I'm chasing here, 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 and full stops on minis. So now I'm down quite a bit. And yeah, so this is when, once I see another rejection here, once we get under the value area low, I enter again. I get risk-free here, and I wasn't aware of this range down here. Like, I think I drew it up after, but I just didn't have a lot of awareness of levels and of anything. I was just like, oh, we're going to get back to that 14,300 level. And it's the end of the day. What's the likelihood? We need a lot of volume near the end of the day to crack that, or to get to that 14,300 range. Entered here for the short, got risk free. And once I saw we held this range and bounced here, I exited here and we got another flush down. I could have exited here and I would have been pretty nicely green on the day here, or break even. I would have maybe been break even here. And then I took one more trade here. Once I saw we were rejecting from the value area low, I cut it quickly and we got down here. So both of these trades here is what I was looking for. This could have been mitigated. This I could have, this I could have sold it here. This one I could have maybe had a bit more conviction to get here. But once I'm taking these losses, losing clarity, losing conviction, I'm less likely to hold this because I'm like, oh, we might hold this value area high. And, we get the move that I was looking for. So taking this trade here correctly would have netted me, that would have netted me 48, 20 points, taking it correctly. More than 25 points, because getting risk-free gets me 5 points. This here, same thing, cutting it maybe at 14,330 could have netted me like close to 20 points, something like that. So all of this is where I dropped the ball yesterday. And that's the thing, like it didn't like it. I was happy that I could take that learning lesson, because given the week that I've had, like this just shows me myself, like getting a little bit too eager and a little bit overconfident maybe that my plays have to work out, like and front running a play. Like I might stick to limits. Like limits could be the way, because marketing in puts me in a position of like wanting to really enter the market. But if I have a limit at a clear level where I say, okay, if sellers don't defend this, then I'm wrong, or, sometimes I want to see if sellers actually defend it. Like maybe waiting till they defend it up here at the value area high, and, like this, entering here, like that could be right. Yeah. Instead of entering here on the way up, right, wait to see if they defend it. And then, that's what I did. that's what I did here. Yeah, that's what I did here. Here I could have waited a bit more to test it. Like, but that's, yeah. I could have waited to see if buyers would break it, but once they defended it a few times, and that's the thing, that's just having patience. And, so that's for me to look at, like, you know, if I miss a trade, it's okay. I have to be okay with missing trades, but I have to be okay with also, like, being picky and letting the trade really show up the way I like it. And it's not going to be always perfect. Like, sometimes I might want to wait for a bit more clarity. Like, yeah, I could enter here, but I'm still stepping in front of momentum. Like, I could, like, here we can find acceptance above the POC. Here we can find acceptance above the value area high. Bear break. Then I can enter here where I thought to enter here. And if we get a little lower high, but I know sellers would have to get back above this range, or buyers would have to get above this range. And then, so this was the trade. This was the decent trade, but I could have been more aware of this range. So here, yeah, I'm just kind of FOMOing in, losing clarity. And that's part of my C game that I have to improve. And it's okay. Like, that's part of it. Like, there's nothing, I'm growing. This is all part of the development. So, could have been worse had I, not made some of it back here, but it's okay. Like, I'm growing. Today was my best week yet. And, Fridays, I have to really be aware of Fridays, maybe write it down on a piece of paper, like, be aware of Fridays. Like, I have that feeling of, like, wanting to cram in trades before the weekend. And I think this was kind of indicative of that, like, wanting to, like, trade, like, the weekend's coming. I want to make sure I get a good trade before the weekend. And, it just doesn't put me in the best mental state to have better prepared trades. And this was, kind of chased here. So, it's all good. Like, I can't, beat myself up or anything like that. Like, this is all part of the growth and development as a trader. And it's okay. Like, I had a really good week. I did some things really well this week. And I'm going to look to, continue to do those things I did well this week, continue to do those into next week, and work on these things, like my C game, maybe working more with limit orders, and, after one loss, like, wait for another trade to present itself. Because that's where I get myself in trouble, is chasing after I take a loss, like here. So definitely things for me to improve on as a trader, and we'll continue to do that and look at these things. But yeah, happy with my progress, and we'll look to take that into next week with morning prep and some good preparation. Quick rundown on the daily. And on the daily, we just ended here at this POC of 411, 421, and ES got above it, this daily POC of 729, 810. But yeah, and I'll go over all this in my morning prep on Monday. But yeah, ES just got through some really nice levels there. Yeah, we got to the high here. Nice. So yeah, quick rundown of the sectors. So SPY, SPY, I'd say daily higher low set. QQQ looking good. XLF daily bounce got going. IWM daily bounce is going. XLE kind of the weaker sector. XBI, a little bit of a bounce, kind of maybe the daily bounce getting going. We will be scouting a daily lower high. XLV didn't join the party. Like, the market would have loved for XLV to join the party. It didn't. Big upper wick. That's notable. Could be a quick little dinky lower high. XLU could be getting its daily bounce going, but we will be scouting a daily lower high. SMH. Wow, this is the scenario I laid out for SMH, and it played out. Like, that's wild. I said, we could potentially get to the value area low of this range at 14751, and that was the scenario that played out. That was a really nice move for SMH. Cool. We will be scouting daily higher lows on SMH, and on NQ for sure, and QQQ and SPY. We will be scouting daily higher lows. But SPY now, maybe if SPY doesn't get above this high, then we could have some balance maybe to then break. All right. Cool. I'm not going to spend too much time with this, more time, because I have to head out real quick. But, tech on the daily. A lot of tech, respected some good levels. Apple will be scouting, see if we get some continuation. But yeah, I think Apple wants to get this daily PLC at 177.18. Amazon above this daily value area high. Yeah, looking good. Netflix, big bounce, got to the value area high this daily range. Google didn't participate as much, so maybe Google does on Monday. Maybe acts as a laggard. Microsoft, big move today. I think buyers should be looking for this POC at 335.02. Meta, big move. Again, I think POC as well, 264.15. Maybe buyers want to get there. Tesla, big move, value area high of this daily range. So yeah, maybe we got a daily higher low, or buyers continue to press the issue. But no, we did set a daily higher low here, so that'll be key for buyers. See if we get more movement to the upside, maybe to this value area low, value area high of this daily range here. And NVDA, yeah, inside day, given context of earnings and this big move, other tech names picked up the slack for sure. So rotation in tech, like picking up the slack, NVDA did a lot, and now rotation in other tech names there, and NQ just helped NQ a lot, which NQ helps buy. XLF helped buy a little bit, and XLV didn't. XLV was a little bit of a party pooper, not joining the party, but that's okay. We shall see on Monday what Monday brings. Maybe XLV will get the memo and the market will continue higher, but one day at a time. So I'll see you for my morning prep on Monday or Tuesday. I think markets closed on Monday. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next trade review. Thank you.